The books that I read to put my book together were the textbooks from high school. But in
Right.
terms of what my book is about, my book is a response to maybe 8 or 9 previous books that have tried to make 2 points about education. The first point is that society is being taught kind of this overly positive jingoistic narrative about history that's
Right.
false. So, I mean, like Lowen in 1995 wrote a book called Lies My Teacher Told Me, arguing that the schools, at least through the 50s and 60s, 70s, were teaching people that there were very few Native American Indians, Columbus was a hero, so on down the line. And that's been followed up by, I mean, like the 1619 Project wrote a book, 1619. People sometimes pitch that as a black history of the United States. Slavery has been undersold. In reality, the slaves built everything. That's only a slight oversell of what they say. You know, everything unique about the United States of America came out of black slavery. And the core theme is we always say we're great. In fact, we're evil. But there's a second part that I think has received less attention that's more notable, which is this sly little implication, and nobody knows this except you woke, intelligent, upper middle class kids that are being told it. So all these sort of textbooks will have these little sidebars. There's like a red arrow pointing up with a header like the Seneca Falls Declaration, and under it the words will say in agate type, "Your parents probably don't know very much about liberation, feminism." You know, and
Right.
so the idea is like you are being taught the truth, and the truth is that we're evil, and no one's ever been evil like us before. And in response to this, my book says a couple things. First, the West is not uniquely evil. In fact, in context, we're not evil at all. The sins of Western society were the same things that people did through all of history. But anyway, so the point is the Westerners didn't do anything unique. In fact, they did some unique positive things like ending slavery. Abolitionism was a Western, specifically Christian practice, which ought to be recognized. Huge role for women, huge role for the church. So that's point one. Point two, though, is more serious. It's just that not only are the Westerners not uniquely evil, if anything, they were uniquely good historically. It's also not the case that the narrative that the West is bad is some kind of novel, original thing that no one has heard. It's the mainstream narrative in society. The 1619 Project was published by the New York Times. Like, there's nothing exotic here.